In hip-hop, few couples have sparked as much fascination and as much debate as Lil Durk and India Royale. What began as a romance broadcast to millions on Instagram soon became a lightning rod for controversy. Their love story has been punctuated by public breakups, cryptic tweets, and viral speculation. Behind the glamorous images, whispers grew into headlines, rumors of infidelity, public confrontations, and an on-again, off-again dynamic that kept fans guessing. But in 2024, the narrative took an even more serious turn. Durk found himself at the center of a high-stakes legal battle, with prosecutors using his own lyrics as evidence against him.
Durk is charged with conspiracy to...
Meanwhile, India was pulled into public conversation, sometimes as its fiercest defender, sometimes as a figure of speculation herself. From the social media storms to the courtroom drama, from private heartbreaks to public resilience, this is the story of love, loyalty, and survival in the harsh glare of the spotlight. Derek Banks, better known as Lil Durk, has already carved out a name for himself in Chicago's drill movement before his personal life began making headlines. With mixtapes like Signed to the Streets and albums such as The Voice, he built a reputation for blending street-hardened narratives with moments of vulnerability, often referencing the struggles and losses that shaped him.
Even though that gangsta, he ride with us. Tory, he from Canada, duty from Kankakee.
Beyond music, Durk maintained a strong social media presence, with an active Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok accounts where he promoted his work, shared personal moments, and occasionally sparked viral debates among fans. His growing fame meant that any relationship he entered would inevitably draw public attention. On the other hand, India Royale, born India Cox, was steadily creating her own path as a beauty and lifestyle influencer, running a successful cosmetics brand and curating a loyal following through her Instagram and YouTube accounts. Her content ranged from makeup tutorials to glimpses into her personal life, positioning her as a relatable yet aspirational figure for many of her followers. India's strong online presence, combined with her ability to market herself authentically, made her more than just a rapper's girlfriend in the public eye. She had her own brand, her own income streams, and her own influence long before becoming linked with Lil Durk. Lil Durk and India Royale's relationship began quietly but steadily in Chicago, a city known for its influential hip-hop scene and complex realities. Both came from similar backgrounds, but their early connection was built more on shared experience than public spectacle. Their worlds intersected naturally around 2017, although the exact details of their first meeting remain private. By late 2018, the couple had already welcomed their daughter, Willow Banks. This marked a significant milestone that deepened their bond.
Uh-oh. Willow.
Stop trying to wake her up.
She thinks she on. Like, you need to sleep through them.
If she wake up, you stand up outside.
India openly shares her journey through motherhood, balancing her role as a parent with her career in the public eye.
They don't even have toys for you.
Can we get one toy? That's one.
Okay, so...
For Durk, fatherhood brought new responsibilities amid his growing fame and personal challenges. Together they embraced parenting, facing its demands privately while occasionally sharing moments with fans. Beyond Willow, both Lil Durk and India Royale navigate the complexities of a blended family. Durk is father to 6 children in total, including Angelo, Bella, Zayden, Demir, Skylar, and Willow, while India has another daughter, Skylar, from a previous relationship. Managing such a large and diverse family requires careful balance, and the couple often highlights their commitment to fostering strong bonds among all their children. Also, Durk's music frequently references India, revealing the importance of their relationship in his life. Tracks like India, India Part 2, and India Part 3 reflect themes of loyalty, love, and perseverance, with lyrics like, "I can't lie, I can't tell my guys that I'm in love and I feel so shy," highlighting their partnership's emotional depth. These songs gave fans insight into Durk's personal life and the role India plays as both muse and partner, The openness in his music added authenticity to their story beyond typical celebrity relationships. Their early years together, however, were not without hardship. In July 2021, they faced a frightening home invasion at their Atlanta residence. Armed intruders entered their home late at night, forcing Durk and India to defend themselves. Shots were fired in self-defense, and fortunately neither were harmed. The incident underscored the real dangers that accompany public life, particularly for those in the hip-hop industry, where violence is an ever-present threat. The event drew widespread attention, with fans and fellow artists expressing concern and support.
How scary is that situation, though, overall? Like that's your home. That's where you live at.
Niggas ran inside my crib, but the Glock 10 was by the bed. I get my gun to end it before I put it in your hand.
It was just like, we was in that motherfucker like a movie.
Durk later addressed the incident in his song, Pissed Me Off, channeling the raw emotions from that night into his music. The experience demonstrated the couple's resilience and unity in the face of danger. For India, it reinforced her role not just as a partner, but as a protector of their family. This episode highlighted the seriousness of their relationship, forged amid adversity. In December 2021, Durk publicly proposed to India during his performance at Chicago's WGCI Big Jam concert. The moment was both personal and public, with Durk kneeling before thousands of fans to declare his commitment. India accepted, and the news quickly spread across social media and hip-hop media outlets. The engagement ring, a custom 10-carat diamond surrounded by emerald-cut stones, symbolized the seriousness of their intentions. Durk had said that he always knew India was the one, but waited for the right moment to propose. This public proposal marked a significant turning point. It was not just a display of wealth or fame, but a statement of real commitment. The event gave fans a clear signal that their relationship was moving forward on serious terms. India's acceptance further emphasized her central role in Durk's life, both personally and publicly. Throughout these early years, the couple managed to strike a balance between public exposure and private life. Unlike many celebrity couples whose relationships are played out entirely in the media, Durk and India kept parts of their lives private, while still sharing enough to keep fans engaged. Their social media presence was carefully shaped, not overly staged, but thoughtful enough to maintain authenticity.
All my pictures on Instagram finna be like.
India Royale's rising career as a beauty influencer and entrepreneur positioned her as not just a rapper's girlfriend. She built her brand and identity, representing a partnership of equals. This dynamic challenged common stereotypes about women in hip-hop relationships, showing India as a self-made figure with her ambitions and following. Her public persona, combined with her role as a mother and partner, painted a picture of a multifaceted woman navigating multiple roles simultaneously. The home invasion and public proposal reveal much about the reality of their early relationship. It was marked by moments of both crisis and celebration. Their ability to navigate these extremes together illustrated a strong partnership, grounded in more than just fame or image.
The sportsmanship. She gave me this.
As their relationship evolved, fans and observers saw a couple that was more than just a rapper and influencer. They became partners facing life's highs and lows side by side. Their story serves as an example of how relationships in hip-hop can be both deeply personal and inevitably public, shaped by the realities of fame, family, and personal growth. However, it was not all without some spice and drama. In early 2022, Lil Durk had found himself at the center of a controversy that quickly became one of the most talked about relationship moments of the year. The spark was a seemingly casual comment he made during an appearance on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast that unexpectedly ignited a fierce debate on social media about gender double standards, personal history, and relationship expectations in hip-hop culture. During the episode, Durk was asked about his relationship with India Royale and what made her stand out to him. His response caught many off guard. He pointed to India's body count, referring to the number of partners she had before him, and admitted frankly that he was petty as hell about it. He explained that her lower number of past partners was a major factor that made him want to marry her. Durk said, "Her body count, that's what did it," openly embracing his preference in a way that felt refreshingly candid to some but deeply problematic to others.
I'm petty as hell. Like, if you a lot of all that, I ain't gonna wife you. That's me.
That's me too.
I wake up in the middle of the night, get mad over shit 4 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
that's just
That's
me.
me too, nigga.
Yeah, but it's like, everything about it, like, being real, not cheating. She ain't been passed around, and it was like, a body count, that's what really did it.
Okay.
The immediate public reaction was intense and polarized. While a segment of fans praised Durk's honesty and respect for his boundaries, the backlash from others was swift and vocal. Critics argued that the comment was not only unnecessarily judgmental, but also hypocritical, especially given Durk's history. He's known to have multiple children with different women, and his past relationships are well documented in the public eye. This contrast laid bare the long-standing double standard often found in hip-hop and society at large. Men's pasts are frequently overlooked or even glamorized, while women's histories are scrutinized and used as measures of their worthiness as partners. India Royale's reaction to the controversy was decisive and unapologetic. Rather than distancing herself from the comment, she publicly supported Durk, taking to social media to defend their relationship and brush off the criticism. She tweeted messages that clearly stated her loyalty, such as, "IDGFF what people think about my fiancé. That's why he mine, get you one," followed by, "Good thing he's my man." These statements emphasized her confidence in their bond and her refusal to let outside opinions dictate the narrative about their relationship. For many, India's stance was empowering, a woman standing firmly by her partner despite public scrutiny. However, some observers felt that her response sidestepped deeper issues raised by Durk's remark, including how such preferences can contribute to harmful gender norms and reinforce unequal standards between men and women. This duality reflected the complex nature of the discussion, where personal choice and cultural critique intersected in a highly visible way. Durk's only notable response to the body count criticism came in the form of a single Instagram post, where he addressed the chatter with humor rather than defensiveness. In the post, he lightly acknowledged the conversation without directly apologizing or providing a detailed explanation that hinted at his awareness of the uproar but maintained a casual tone, even without a formal statement. Durk's subtle acknowledgement was enough to shape the narrative and signal that, despite external judgment, he and India were navigating their relationship on their own terms. This episode illustrated the difficulties public figures face when their private opinions and personal lives become subject to intense public scrutiny. In an era where social media amplifies every word, even casual remarks can become lightning rods for larger social debates. For Durk and India, a simple explanation of his preference unfolded into a high-profile moment that exposed deep cultural tensions around gender, respect, and relationship dynamics in hip-hop. Importantly, the incident also highlighted the evolving role of women like India Royale, who navigate their careers and public personas while being closely linked to famous partners. India's ability to hold her ground, respond confidently, and maintain her own identity amid the storm was notable. She embodies a generation of women in hip-hop culture who are increasingly vocal about their experiences and expectations, challenging old norms and demanding respect on their terms. In the months following the podcast controversy, the couple appeared to weather the storm, continuing to share glimpses of their life on social media. Yet the episode remains a defining moment in how their relationship is publicly understood and discussed. It serves as a reminder of the complex ways celebrity relationships intersect with cultural conversations about gender, identity, and power. Ultimately, the 2022 body count backlash was a vivid reflection of ongoing debates about respect, fairness, and the challenges women face in hip-hop relationships. It underscored how personal preferences, when voiced in the public arena, can reveal broader societal inequalities and spark conversations that extend far beyond the individuals involved. For Lil Durk and India Royale, it was a moment that tested public perception and illuminated the complicated realities of love under the spotlight. But then in September 2022, Lil Durk and India Royale's relationship found itself thrust into the spotlight once again, but this time under a cloud of uncertainty and widespread speculation. The trigger was a brief, cryptic tweet from India Royale, simply stating she was a free agent, a phrase loaded with implications about personal freedom and relationship status. The tweet was quickly deleted, but had already sparked an intense wave of rumors. Almost simultaneously, both India and Lil Durk unfollowed each other on Instagram, a move fans often interpret as a public signal of discord and even breakup. Together, these actions ignited a frenzy of speculation and debate among fans, media outlets, and the wider hip-hop community. At that point, despite the usual pressures that come with dating a high-profile artist, Durk was at the height of his career, balancing chart-topping albums and collaborations, and there was a general perception of stability and mutual support. India herself was steadily rising as an influencer and entrepreneur, carving out an identity beyond just being Durk's partner. This made the sudden cryptic message all the more surprising. The term free agent is a term borrowed from sports, meaning a player not under contract and free to join other teams. In a relationship context, it suggests independence or possibly separation. While India didn't elaborate, the timing and wording led fans to read it as a subtle announcement of a change in her personal life. The deletion of the tweet only added to the intrigue, making the brief message feel intentional yet guarded, perhaps a way to express a shift without a full public explanation. Shortly after the tweet, the unfollowing on Instagram confirmed for many that tensions were real. Fans and observers quickly noticed that the couple's usual social media interactions had ceased, fueling rumors that their relationship had hit a serious rough patch, if not ended outright. What made this even more weird was that the breakup rumors came mere days after Blueface's mother took to social media to claim Durk and someone got engaged and unengaged, amidst other claims. But the thing was that just earlier, Durk had proposed to India, saying, "You know I love you to death, and you've been holding me down when I was going through a lot." So could it be true? The intense scrutiny was a reflection of the couple's prominent place in hip-hop culture and the broader fascination with celebrity relationships. High-profile couples often face magnified challenges, as their personal lives become public property for fans and media alike. In this environment, even small social media gestures can be interpreted as definitive statements, leaving little room for privacy or nuance. Despite the storm of rumors, neither India, Royale nor Lil Durk issued explicit public statements confirming or denying the status of their relationship at that time. However, there were hints as to the ups and downs of their relationship. India maintained a relatively low profile, focusing on her career and personal growth while offering only vague social media messages about self-care and empowerment. For example, she posted encouragements about prioritizing mental health and personal well-being, phrases that some interpreted as subtle acknowledgments of challenges without providing concrete answers. Durk's social media remained professional and guarded, with no direct comments on his relationship. This silence left fans and media to draw conclusions based on limited information, feeding a cycle of speculation that kept the story alive for weeks. Then came the bomb news. Lil Durk deactivated his account. For an artist who relied heavily on the platform to connect with fans, promote music, and share personal moments, disappearing from Instagram without warning sent speculation into overdrive. Before the deletion, Durk's Instagram was one of the central hubs of his public presence. He used it to push new releases like his 2022 album 7220, share behind-the-scenes looks at his tours, highlight business collaborations, and post intimate glimpses of his life with India and their daughter Willow. His decision to remove himself from the app left a void. Fans went from getting near daily updates to complete silence. In the fast-moving, always-connected world of hip-hop culture, that silence became its kind of message, one that could be interpreted in dozens of different ways.
It's gonna be more than just, the song gets a Grammy. You gotta be like, boy, the album nominated for a Grammy. We gotta start thinking in that box. We got the little box of thinking like, this shit deeper than that. This shit really deep thoughts.
To some followers, it looked like an emotional response to the online rumors, an attempt to shut out the noise and avoid adding fuel to it. Others saw it as a strategic move, the kind of calculated pause that celebrities sometimes use to keep from posting impulsively during personal conflicts, or when the press cycle is turned against them. Without an official explanation from Durk, there was no way to know for sure which it was. But either way, the deletion meant fans had no direct updates, and were left piecing together clues from other sources. While his fans on the Meta-owned platform questioned the move, Durk posted a message on his X, formerly Twitter account. India, who kept her own Instagram active, became an even bigger focus of attention during this time. Every post she made, even the ones that were brand promotions or casual lifestyle updates, was examined for hidden meaning. A simple caption could set off threads of speculation, with fans debating whether it hinted at reconciliation, confirmed the split, or was just business as usual. The social media attention put both of them under an even brighter spotlight, and Durk's absence only heightened the tension. The intense attention highlighted the broader dynamics at play in celebrity relationships today. Social media has transformed how couples communicate with the public and how fans perceive intimacy and conflict. A single tweet or an unfollow can trigger widespread debate, showing how public figures navigate a delicate balance between sharing and privacy. This phase underscored the complexity of relationships under public scrutiny, where setbacks and reunions unfold transparently, sometimes before the individuals themselves have fully processed the events. For high-profile couples, managing private emotions amid public attention is an ongoing challenge. Beyond the immediate story, this episode sheds light on the evolving role of women in hip-hop culture. India Royale exemplifies a generation asserting independence while navigating relationships with powerful men. Her free agent tweet can be read as a nuanced message about self-prioritization, growth, and the right to personal freedom, challenging traditional narratives that often limit women's roles in these partnerships. Their relationship also highlighted the influence of social media algorithms that favor sensational content, pushing breakups and drama to viral status. This environment pressures public figures to control narratives carefully or risk misinterpretation. While the full truth behind the rumors remains known only to India Royale and Lil Durk, the episode stands as a case study in the realities of modern celebrity relationships, where love, loyalty, and personal agency coexist with public performance and scrutiny. And then fans started to pinpoint what happened before Durk deactivated his account. In one instance, Durk and India seemed to address the rumors in their Instagram stories, though their responses only deepened the mystery. Durk posted a selfie with text over it that read, "That cat emoji, mine's forever welcome to death row," while India responded with a single cap emoji, a slang term for a lie. Instead of clarifying anything, the posts fueled more conversation. Were they calling the breakup rumors false? Was Durk claiming her while she denied it? The cryptic nature of both messages left room for every possible interpretation. Following this, a few months of quiet ensued, and Durk remained off Instagram for several weeks after that, a period that coincided with other significant developments in his career. In December 2022, Loyal Bros 2, a compilation album from his Only the Family label, was released. By the time the project rolled out, Durk had returned to Instagram, but he kept his posts focused on music and collaborations, steering clear of directly addressing the personal drama that had fueled so much online conversation in the fall. On Valentine's Day 2023, posting, "Happy Valentine's Day to the wonderful woman that made me a man. I love you at India Royale," while India publicly expressed frustration at the lack of respect for her boundaries, tweeting, "People really do not respect boundaries at all. I try my best to be respectful and not put on a show, but people don't respect my choices. Let it go." In March 2023, Durk continued to tease the possibility of expanding their family, writing, "I want one more son, then I'm done," which fans assumed referenced India, though she quickly reaffirmed on Twitter that she was single. On the same day, Durk reposted a video of a fight on Instagram with the caption, "Catch y'all in her comments, I'ma break them jaws," further fueling speculation. The following day, he posted what became his most candid reflection, addressing India directly on her birthday. "I effed up. She played a small part. She is a really good girl who loves life. I am a good guy, good husband. I just never listened to her pain back when she was pregnant with Willow and her baby. So I ain't perfect, but I am perfect for you. I love you, and I am all ears whenever we get back into a relationship. You saved my life with you, Willow, and Big Sky. Out of all my kids, you were there. Don't attack her. She's the best in the world. I didn't do her wrong, I just kept her from the world." India chose not to publicly respond to this admission, leaving the relationship status ambiguous and continuing the cycle of fan speculation. In the months following September 2022, the couple's relationship continued to evolve, marked by both challenges and reaffirmations. Whether the free agent moment was a turning point or a temporary detour, it remains a significant chapter in their story, illustrating how relationships endure, adapt, and sometimes struggle in the spotlight. There is a certain pull to watching two people find their way back to each other. It's rarely the dramatic movie-style grand gesture that gets people talking the longest. More often, it's the smaller, quieter signals, the kind that only means something if you've been paying attention from the start. In the case of Lil Durk and India Royale, the whispers of reconciliation came through the everyday language of modern relationships. A photo on Instagram, a cryptic caption, a shared live stream, and subtle cues that made people stop, rewind, and think, wait, are they back together? For months, fans had speculated about the status of their relationship. They'd broken up before, and the internet had documented each high and low with the same obsessive care it gives any celebrity couple whose bond feels both aspirational and relatable. But in October 2022, things shifted. Without warning, Durk posted a photo that changed the conversation. A shot of him kissing India Royale with a caption that read, "Y'all know damn well this forever." This wasn't the kind of phrasing you use lightly. It had weight, confidence, and a touch of defiance. India reposted the same image, but paired it with her twist, "Play dangerously in love." No lengthy explanations, no interviews, just a visual and a song choice. And suddenly the internet was alive with interpretations.
I want us to break up so bad.
It wasn't just the post alone, but the timing. They'd been largely silent about each other for weeks, maybe months. In that silence, theories had bloomed, some hopeful, some cynical. But this was a definitive move, even if it was understated. It wasn't a brand deal rollout or a music video scene. It was a personal moment they allowed the public to see, and that made it more powerful. From that day, the threads started reweaving. India had long been a muse in Durk's music, referenced by name in tracks like India, India Part 2, and India Part 3. Those songs were love letters dressed as rap verses, each one mapping out a little more of their story. Fans knew the references, they knew the lyrics. And when Durk sat down with XXL in early 2023 and said, "She always gonna be my girl, we always gonna be together, that's who I'm dying about right there," it wasn't shocking. It was confirmation of what they'd suspected. He was speaking to an audience and her. Then came April's now famous Instagram Live. Durk was streaming, music playing in the background, Beyoncé's Dance for You to be exact, when the camera caught him holding hands with a woman whose face wasn't fully shown. When fans asked directly if it was India, he answered, "No, this is not India." But the internet doesn't stop at face value. People replayed the clip, analyzed every frame, and pointed out the details. The matching ring, the familiar tattoo, the way their hands rested together like they'd done 1,000 times before. The speculation turned into even Durk's smirk suggested he knew he wasn't fooling anyone.
No, this is not India. Who is that? Why do you think that's somebody tank top? Cause you still want to play this damn song. And when niggas make you mad, hip, this is the type of shit you play.
In that moment, reactions split into two camps. Some were overjoyed. They tweeted and commented about how they were happy to see them back together, even if it wasn't officially confirmed. Others were more cautious, suggesting the timing so close to album promotions felt calculated. Was it love or was it not? That question lingered over every public appearance and every subtle post for the rest of the year. But here's the thing about India Royale. She's not loud about her personal life. She didn't rush to confirm or deny anything. Instead, she allowed her actions to speak. She appeared alongside Durk in small, candid ways. Matching outfits, shared spaces, accessory that mirrored his. And for a couple whose relationship had already been dissected 100 different ways, that kind of restraint was telling. It said, "We don't need to convince you. We know what this is." By mid-2023, their sightings together began to feel more routine. They were photographed shopping, laughing in cars, and sitting side by side at events. They weren't hiding, but they weren't staged either. The energy had shifted from are they to they are. Fans began documenting these moments like digital breadcrumbs, compiling them into timelines that stretched across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram fan pages. The reconnection felt less like a stunt and more like a gradual settling back into each other's lives. Still, the public's fascination with their dynamic never waned. In a way, that's because their relationship had always been rooted in a balance of private intimacy and public connection. They've let people in just enough to keep them invested, but never so much that the entire story is laid bare. That's part of the intrigue. People feel like they're piecing together a puzzle that'll never be fully finished. Durk, for his part, never stopped expressing his admiration for India. In an Instagram Live with Nicki Minaj, he famously said, "Outside of looks, she respects herself." It was a simple statement, but in the context of celebrity culture, it stood out. He wasn't praising her for the kind of surface-level traits that often get thrown around in interviews. He was pointing to something deeper, something that explained why she had become such a constant in his life despite the breaks and the bumps. Their professional lives continued to move in tandem, but not in each other's shadows. Durk toured, released music, and kept his name active in the industry. India focused on building her beauty brand, India Royale Beauty, which began to take on a life of its own in the influencer and cosmetics space. They didn't blur their careers into one, but they did support each other's moves. That independence within connection is part of what made the reconciliation arc believable. And then there's the undeniable reality that love, when it's real, rarely follows a neat linear path. Theirs had already survived public scrutiny, internet judgment, and the unique pressures that come with being in the spotlight. To circle back after all of that isn't a sign of weakness, but of something unfinished. And if the public glimpses we've been given are any indication, they weren't just revisiting the past. They were building something new, informed by everything they'd been through.
Kiss your dog on the head and record their reaction.
By early 2024, the idea of Durk and India as a couple had settled into the cultural fabric of hip-hop and celebrity media. They'd become one of those duos whose connection was as much a part of their brand as their achievements. But more than that, they'd become an example, flawed, complex, and real, of how reconciliation can look when you strip away this cinematic drama and just let it happen in its own time.
How many years we been together? 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
6.
2, 1. Nope.
What is it?
I think y'all cheated. Y'all prepped her.
Is it 6? It's 7.
Yeah, 7.
It just made 7 in August.
So why you didn't say 7?
Because it just made 7, that's why.
So I take the 5 points away.
What makes this arc so compelling is that it doesn't pretend to be perfect. It's layered with both romance and realism, with both sincerity and strategy. That's why people keep talking about it, because in the end, whether you believe it's pure love or partly orchestrated, it feels human. The posts, the lives, the captions are breadcrumbs in a story that's still being written, one understated moment at a time. Late in 2024, Lil Durk and India Royale quietly dropped perhaps the most intimate and surprising update of their public relationship. They had married earlier that same year. The news wasn't announced in a magazine spread, but in Lil's new song. Fans collectively paused. What? Are they married? It was shock wrapped in subtlety, and the effect was magnetic. It mattered so much. It helps to remember how their relationship had unfolded in the spotlight. Durk proposed publicly during a 2021 concert in Chicago. Big stage, family watching, thousands of fans roaring. From that moment, India had stepped in as his future partner, standing beside him through both creative highs and deeply trying challenges. But marriage? That was private, deliberate, and entirely unbroadcast. The reaction online was immediate and emotional. On Reddit, a simple phrase echoed through the comments. Messages scrolled with surprise and support. They got married secretly, LOL, and I'm happy for them, that's dope. What was once assumed to be an open-ended engagement was a discreet step forward. In the age of viral announcements and social media wedding reveals, why opt for secrecy? The answer lies in power and intentionality. Privacy becomes a rare luxury when every moment is headline. By keeping their wedding private, Durk and India reclaimed that agency, choosing how and when to share the deepest parts of their story. It wasn't about secrecy for its own sake, but about choosing privacy amid performative culture. This move placed their marriage in a category of its own, meaningful precisely because it wasn't broadcast. They weren't the first to walk that path. Celebrities have often withheld wedding details until they felt ready. like Beyoncé and Jay-Z, or Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost, moments that ended up feeling more intimate and newsworthy because they were unscripted and unexpected. In that framing, Durk and India's choice aligns with a long-standing tradition of valuing substance over spectacle. The timing of the reveal added another flavor to the reaction. Durk was navigating serious legal troubles, reporting on charges of an alleged murder-for-hire conspiracy. India had been visibly supportive, present at courts, posting messages of encouragement, staying steadfast. Now, learning they were married reframed everything. Their bond was more than romantic. It was legal, foundational, and quietly reaffirmed mid-chaos. The revelation also changed how fans revisited previous chapters. That 2021 concert proposal was once the defining moment, and the months that followed, filled with rumors, public discord, and reconciliations, now became part of a longer journey that quietly ended with a constitutional vow. They reframed their story into something more real, more deliberate. It was a rare moment of respect, not scrutiny, for a couple who'd often been dissected. India's unwavering presence during Durk's court hearings, her brand's growth, and parenting their children together, it now seemed rooted in something even deeper than support. The marriage announcement, unadorned as it was, became a silent testimony to partnership and hardship. Months rolled into 2025, and Durk's music continued to champion India. On Deep Thoughts 2025, his single Can't Hide It, featuring Janae Aiko, opens up with an audio clip confirming his married status to India. The lyrics and tones served as a quiet confirmation that their private union carried into the creative chapter that followed. Even so, there was no blanket announcement. Instead, reminders came in soft gestures like India's Mother's Day post, sharing the story of Durk sending her 5 Chanel bags straight from prison in 2025. That nearly luxurious gesture became a testament to their connection, private, familial, unwavering. For their fans and the wider culture, the secret wedding wasn't a plot twist but a confirmation that life, even under scrutiny, retains zones that belong solely to those experiencing it. In their chase, choosing when or if to share those moments became part of the narrative. It wasn't about hiding. It was about honoring what's sacred. At the end of all this, the secret marriage stands not as a gimmick, but as a statement. It shows that sometimes the most significant milestones are the ones you don't scream from the rooftops. For Lil Durk and India Royale, that felt like the most authentic choice of all. However, the controversies weren't about to end just yet. By mid-2025, Lil Durk's legal situation had evolved into one of the most high-profile criminal cases in hip-hop. A tangle of indictments, court motions, and cultural debate that reached far beyond the music industry. What began in June 2024 as a shocking arrest quickly escalated into a complex courtroom battle, with federal prosecutors painting the rapper as a central figure in an alleged murder-for-hire plot, and his defense team pushing back hard against what they saw as a deeply flawed and unfair case.
Well, police arrested Grammy Award-winning rapper Lil Durk in Florida on federal charges that he paid for the attempted 2022 revenge killing of another rapper at a Los Angeles gas station.
The allegations stemmed from the 2022 killing of Savea Lubpab Robinson, who was shot in Los Angeles while sitting in a vehicle. Prosecutors accused Durk of orchestrating the killing in retaliation for ongoing disputes in the music and street world, framing it as a contract-style murder. Early filings indicated that the government had amassed an enormous body of evidence, over 230 gigabytes of digital files and more than 20,000 pages of discovery. The scale alone hinted at how aggressively the case was being pursued.
Officials confirmed one of the 3 people shot and killed was rapper King Von from Chicago, who was here last night with friends, where a total of 6 people were. One of them, a rapper Davon Bennett, who goes by the stage name King Von.
In August 2024, prosecutors filed a superseding indictment that added a new charge, stalking resulting in death. They argued that Durk's actions and communications before the killing showed a clear intent to track and target the victim. This development significantly expanded the legal scope of the case, giving the prosecution multiple avenues to seek a life sentence. It also allowed them to argue that Durk presented an ongoing danger to the community, something they would lean on heavily during bail hearings. The bail process became a battle of its own. In December 2024, Durk's legal team proposed a $3 million bond package backed by property, cash, and strict monitoring conditions. They emphasized his deep family ties, ongoing music career, and the ability to work within legal boundaries. Prosecutors countered with allegations that Durk had violated jail rules by participating in unauthorized 3-way calls on the prison phone system. This, they argued, showed that he could not be trusted with pre-trial release. The judge sided with the prosecution, denying bail. In April 2025, Durk's attorneys launched a bold offensive, filing a motion to dismiss the murder-for-hire charges altogether. Their argument centered on the use of his song Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy as supposed evidence of guilt. They pointed out that the track had been recorded months before the killing, and that using it in this way amounted to misrepresenting artistic expression as a factual confession. They accused the prosecution of misleading the grand jury and of compromising the integrity of the indictment. The defense also claimed that parts of the case relied on false or unreliable testimony, though much of this detail was sealed from public view. 1 month later, the bail issue returned to the forefront. The defense came back with another proposal for release, but prosecutors had a new tool: the second superseding indictment. They argued that the addition of the stalking charge, combined with previous conduct in custody, made Durk's release impossible to justify. Once again, the court refused to grant bond. Around this time, the prosecution made a significant announcement. They would not seek the death penalty, meaning the maximum sentence Durk faced was life in prison. While that removed the most extreme outcome, it did little to lessen the severity of the situation. Outside the courtroom, the case fueled endless discussion in blogs, forums, and news outlets. The charges against Durk became a lightning rod for debate about the use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal cases. Academics, cultural critics, and fans pointed out that this practice disproportionately affects black artists and risks punishing creativity. Eric Nielsen, author of Rap on Trial, argued that taking lines from a song and presenting them as literal confessions erases the concept of artistic persona and undermines the freedom to create without legal consequence. The public conversation wasn't just about art, though. It was also about loyalty, community, and trust. The arrest of OTF Jam, an associate of Durk, on related charges sparked rumors that he had cooperated with authorities. A false report of his death went viral, fueling speculation and tension among fans. The rumor was later debunked, but the damage was done. The conversation had already shifted toward betrayal, fear, and shifting alliances. For Durk's family, the legal fight was personal and exhausting. They attended hearings, spoke to the press, and accused prosecutors of building their case on shaky ground. At one point, relatives said they believed the state had misled the grand jury by presenting false information, undermining the fairness of the process. They also defended Durk's right to express himself through music without fear that his lyrics would be weaponized against him. Despite his incarceration, Durk remained present in the music world. In March 2025, after a 6-month delay, his album Deep Thoughts was released and debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200. Fans and critics alike noted the raw and introspective tone, interpreting many tracks as coded reflections on his legal troubles. The album's success suggested that, even in crisis, Durk's cultural footprint remained large. Not all public institutions stood by him. Officials in Broadview, Illinois, where Durk had previously been celebrated for his Neighborhood Heroes charity work, formally distanced themselves. They revoked symbolic honors like the Key to the City and halted collaborations with his foundation. For some observers, this signaled how quickly public perception can shift when a celebrity faces serious criminal charges. Through it all, Durk himself was mostly silent, speaking only in short statements during court proceedings. At one hearing, he placed his hand on his heart, a small gesture that supporters read as a sign of resilience and loyalty to his family and fans. His father, known as Big Durk, used social media to rally supporters, urging them to keep faith and pray for a fair outcome.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son for the release for the 3rd time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor, he wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's gonna give a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. But we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends, and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you, and inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
By summer 2025, the weight of the case had grown heavier. The prosecution was preparing for trial, armed with digital records, phone logs, and witness statements, while the defense was combing through thousands of files to challenge the narrative. The timeline for the trial extended toward late 2025. with both sides engaged in a strategic chess match that could shape not only Durk's future, but the broader conversation about art, fame, and justice. For many, the case had already become more than a legal matter. It was a cultural flashpoint, testing how far the justice system could or should go in connecting music to alleged criminal acts. It was also a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change for public figures, and how personal relationships, including high-profile marriages, are tested under the intense pressure of public scrutiny and legal peril. As the months move forward, the tension between public opinion, legal strategy, and personal resilience continues to define Lil Durk's 2024-25. His music, his family, and his legal defense are all working in parallel, each shaping the story in different ways. Whether the end of his chapter will be one of vindication or conviction remains uncertain, but what is clear is that the outcome will ripple far beyond the walls of any courtroom. This is not just the trial of one man, it's become a referendum on the relationship between culture, art, and the law in America. In the end, Lil Durk and India Royale's story is about survival in a world where every lyric, every gesture, and every choice is subject to judgment. The legal battles, the public scrutiny, and the emotional toll have become chapters in a larger narrative about love under pressure, art under fire, and the resilience needed to withstand both. How it ends is still unwritten, but one thing's certain, the world will be watching. If you've been following their story, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.